Hope you're enjoying the music right now on Gold FM. Only the classic hits, especially if you're spending your time at home or around the office. I certainly hope you're taking it easy and enjoying the music coming your way. Well, I got a whole lot more to keep you moving and to keep you going right up until you reach lock-off time. I'm Kara. Join me every weekday from 2 to 7 on The Ride, only on Gold FM.
On FBC News tonight, police third quarter parade called off due to low turnout of officers. 2 drown in rough waters, prompting warnings from police. NACP Pacific trade officials to regroup and discuss EPA before meeting EU. Good evening, I'm Jackie Spate and you're watching FBC News. The third quarter police parade for the Southern, Central and Eastern Division was called off this morning due to a low turnout of officers. Apisolome Dokar reports, with discipline paramount for the Fiji police force, the matter isn't going to be set aside lightly.
Police officers from as far as Navua started arriving at the FDB foreshore at 5 this morning for the third quarter parade. However, when the police chief of operations, ACP Rusete Tunrabu, arrived, he was not happy with the turnout. Around 700 police personnel were expected. However, there were only 406 on parade.
I've decided that the parade could be deferred to Monday so that we can have the maximum turnout of officers within our various headquarters, Southern Division and Eastern Division, to be present when the active police brief us on our last quarter achievement and our focus for next quarter.
Tunrabu says those responsible did not carry out their orders.
I have talked to the senior officers this morning and I'll discuss this further with our First Sergeant Major in regards to the turnout this morning.
He says due to the low turnout, he was not in a position to present the parade to the Acting Commissioner of Police, Ravi Narayan.
Not the first time that we have cancelled, we just changed the venue. But this morning, as you can see, because of the number of people that are coming in, and there are still people coming when the parade is on. So that is uncalled for.
The parade has been rescheduled for next Monday at the Nasova grounds in Nasese, Suva. Apisolome Dokar, FBC News.
2 people on an emergency mission to take someone to hospital drowned when their boat capsized in rough seas at the mouth of the Navua River yesterday. The drownings have the Fiji police force worried about the careless attitude of mariners and those living on outer islands. They say the drownings were the result of ignoring bad weather warnings. Ritika Pratap reports.
The Fiji police force is urging mariners and others living along the coast to be responsible. In the latest mishap, 2 people died after the boat they were in capsized.
In this case, luckily there were 2 survivors, but unfortunately we've had to record another 2 deaths as a result of another boat mishap.
The 2 were part of a 4-member crew that were conveying a sick person to the Navua hospital from Ravi Ravi village, Benga Island. They were on a 20-foot fiberglass boat that capsized in rough seas. Anna Nesoro says after this incident, there was another group adamant to travel to an outer island for funeral gathering.
Unfortunately, they left the area, the Assistant Commissioner of Police, they left. We're not too sure at this stage whether or not the group had left, but you know, that just goes to show it's a clear disregard of what we've been saying so far. People have got to, you know, make better decisions in as far as their safety is concerned.
It's also been found that many of these boats, despite maritime laws, still don't have life jackets on board at any time.
That's something that we are working with other relevant authorities, but it just seems as if people are not taking it too seriously. It is unfortunate.
The drowning toll now stands at 34 compared to 52 for the same period last year. Ritika Pratap, FBC News.
Talks between the Pacific Trade Delegation in Brussels and the European Union Commissioner, Karel de Hoofet, did not go ahead. The Pacific Bloc has been given time to solve impending issues before they can continue negotiations on the Economic Partnership Agreement for the Pacific. Eleanor Torangaivu spoke to the Attorney General and Minister for Trade, Aisaid Kayum, who is in Brussels.
The Pacific ACP countries have been negotiating the Economic Partnership Agreement, EPA, for the past 10 years. Fiji's Trade Minister Ayaz Said Kayum has denied reports that talks have been suspended.
Well, actually, they have not been suspended. There was a series of meetings held between the trade officials of the Pacific and the trade officials of the EU. And there is going to be a subsequent meeting between the EU Commissioner and the ministers who were in Brussels. Because of some of the issues that were identified and the fact that we needed to regroup as a region, the meeting with the European Trade Commissioner did not go ahead.
Said Kayum says the Pacific Bloc has decided to work on problems that still exist before sitting down with the EU again.
But the Pacific has written a letter to the chair of the trade ministers, who at the moment is the foreign minister, has written a letter to the EU Commissioner to say that given some of the developments that have taken place, both the parties need to regroup respectively and then hopefully have a meeting very soon.
The Pacific meeting of trade officials will be held in Fiji.
It has been decided that regrouping, after Fiji made an offer, that the regrouping will take place in Fiji. And we're hoping that will be at the latest held in late December, early January.
As talks on the EPA continue, lobbyists in the Pacific are mindful of the repercussions should we not reach an agreement. These are the erosion of export preferences, the elimination of the duty-free access to the European Union market in 2014, and the removal of the sugar production quotas in 2017. There is hope that the region will successfully negotiate a beneficial agreement next year. Eleanor Turangaivu, FBC News.
The Fiji National Provident Fund has cleared the air about the $181 million loan to Fiji Airways. Chief Executive Aisake Taito has reassured members that their funds are safe, as the national carrier has not withdrawn the full amount due to its strong cash position. Chanel Sivan reports.
Questions were raised by the media about the loan repayment by Fiji Airways at the launch of Fiji National Provident Fund's annual report yesterday. CEO Aisake Taito says although the airline company has withdrawn some of the loan, they haven't defaulted in any of their payments.
They haven't withdrawn all 181 million that we've given them, basically because of the strong cash flow that they have. I think there's also discussions by them, preliminary discussion at this stage, that they want to prepay also their loan.
Taito assures members that the fund is protected. FNPF Chief Investment Officer Chauchi Koroi says due to the trade confidentiality, they will not be able to reveal the amount paid back by the airline.
Most probably they will not draw on the full amount, and they will also repay what they've taken for the third tranche of the loan. But again, these are very preliminary discussions that they have.
Koroi has also indicated the third aircraft will be brought in November. Fiji Airways CEO Stefan Pichler had earlier told FBC News that the reason behind withdrawing from the loan taken from FNPF was that they had found a better option overseas. Chanel Shivan, FBC News.
Still to come on FBC News, 2 more Chinese nationals fined for failure to declare foreign currency.
I wake up in the morning, I prefer to go down to the gym, get a bit of physical work done. Also later on in the day, I decide to go through for meditation. I do a bit of reading to find out what the latest songs are, a bit of research. And for me, it's all about the listeners.
Hey, what's up? I'm Rio, and this is the Traffic Jam every weekday from 3 o'clock to 7, only on Today FM. Today is hit music. What's up?
Nisambula binaka oya wone kamanalangi oni nandorungo diao mena diwa kina rua na bisinga mena moniti kina bagarumbuka na Radio Fiji wana ndoma ibiti bongani bianyanu nama katalengana bengona sasibiani na tinna kaloka na bembongi ni bukilulu kena bima mani walu na bembongi ni bakarowai mena mbuza ni balu ninge namaka.
Welcome back. You're watching FBC News. 2 more Chinese nationals have appeared in the Nandi Magistrates Court this morning for allegedly failing to declare foreign and local currencies. They are the 4th and 5th such cases within 10 days. Akosita Tale has more.
62-year-old businessman Wang Weiyu and 53-year-old Wang Haiji are now out of bail and have been ordered to pay hefty fines. Who arrived into the country on the 11th of this month and was detained at Nandi Airport on the 16th after he failed to declare foreign currency totaling up to 39,350 Fijian dollars. He had in his possession 21,609 US dollars, 529 Chinese yen, 1,000 euros and 50 Fijian dollars. He received a $3,000 fine. Singatoka businessman Wang Haiji was detained at the airport on the 16th of this month while trying to leave for China on a Korean air flight. Haiji failed to declare 25,000 US dollars, 500 Chinese yen and 295 Fijian dollars. Today he pleaded guilty to the charge and has been fined $1,500. Both the men have been warned not to reoffend while a stop departure order has been issued against them. They have both surrendered their travel documents to the court and will be sentenced next Monday. Akusita Tale, FBC News.
Fiji will be the data collection hub for the $127.3 million Mars Orbiter mission to be launched by India. An 18-member team of top scientists and engineers from India's International Space Research Organization are here to identify specified places from which they will monitor the mission. Shireen Lata reports.
President Rathuipeli Nailathika was briefed on the Indian government's plan to monitor and collect data from Fiji for its first space mission to Mars. The mission will be monitored from Fiji and other parts of the South Pacific Ocean.
In Fiji, the ships will do refueling and other logistical arrangements will be put in place, including integration of equipment on board the ship, which are basically communication equipment. And then from here, the ships will sail further on to observation points in the Pacific.
2 ships will be deployed to the Pacific and final touches are being done. Once this is complete, the ships will be sailing to these specified destination points for the monitoring of the mission.
Fiji has been chosen mainly because of the location and also because we have excellent relations with the people and with the government of Fiji. Location of the observation points in the Pacific are about 1,500 miles to 2,000 nautical miles east of Fiji, and this makes Fiji as one of the best locations.
One goal for the interplanetary journey is to hunt down methane gas, a byproduct from living organisms.
The final preparation is going on as per schedule. The actual rocket, what we call as a launch vehicle, is being integrated at our launch center in India, and another 1 week the rocket will be fully ready for the launch.
The Mars Orbit mission is expected to be launched by the end of this month, and scientists believe this is the optimal timing for a Mars mission. Shireen Lata, FBC News.
Around the world, October is known as Pinktober, signifying it is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. To create more awareness of Pinktober, the Fiji Broadcasting Corporation organized a competition amongst its different departments. The bra art competition was held with men modeling bras created by the various FBC departments. While the idea was to raise awareness of breast cancer, which kills thousands of women every year, it also showcased the comic acting abilities of some FBC staff members. Behind it were all the messages of Pinktober, how to detect breast cancer, which is more treatable in its earlier stages, and to seek medical help if you find a lump and suspect it might be breast cancer. Friday Night Sports now. Good evening, Jamie. What do you have for us before you sign off for the week?
Good evening. Well, in sports tonight, the Fiji Women's Rugby Union hope to build on its national player base with a local tournament, and Fiji Women's Basketball ready to take on Oceania. Those stories and more after the break.
Bola, oya wasala bilawa. Do pata kia umena diwa kina tini karuna kaloko na single boni moniti kina wagarumbuka. Kako ni valata na nomu suini sari na kaisa muriendo loloma leone vani ni nau omgori ke de mena diwa kina tini karuna kaloko na single boni moniti kina wagarumbuka ena Bula FM number 2 ena sere.
जहाँ हो प्यार का बसेरा और रिश्तों की खुशबू, वो है आपका अपना घर संसार. Join me on घर संसार Monday to Friday 9 AM till 12 PM only on Radio Fiji 2.
Welcome back to FBC Sports. The Flying Fijians have set their sights on improving their international ranking. The team has hit an all-time low of 13th in the world, but officials are expecting the upcoming Northern Hemisphere tour to turn things around. Tsalintau Takataka reports.
Last year's Europe tour is better off forgotten for our Flying Fijians. A win from 4 test matches led to Fiji's lowest ranking ever, and the team will keep that in mind next month.
Aim for this year is to improve from what we have done last year, and as well as the ranking. So we need to beat those two tier 3 nations like Romania and Portugal.
Video analysis of the Portugal side has shown they will be strong in the forward pack.
We're really expecting them to be more on the front row on the tight 5. Yeah? So we're trying to build a team that will try to counter their forward pack. Yeah?
Which is why the side has brought in former Otago Highlanders mentor Alan Moore as technical advisor for the tour.
So we bring him in to get in with the boys and taught them the new scrum rules and the techniques of the new scrum laws. That's what we've been doing the last few days.
Hope lies on the shoulders of the 30-man squad that will be named tomorrow to keep abreast the top-tier nations of world rugby. Tsalintau Takataka, FBC Sports.
Meanwhile, women's rugby in Fiji has shown that with the right support, they can deliver the goods on the international scene. 2 weeks ago, they upset world champs New Zealand at the Oceania tournament in Australia, and that was after spending only a week together. Now the Fiji Women's Rugby Union is hoping that a local tournament next month will help build a national player base. Elena McDonald reports.
The Fiji Women's Rugby Union is on a mission to get as many females in the country to take up the sport. And why not, if it means being able to travel around the world through sport and possibly going to the next Olympics in Rio.
A lot more organized now. It's great to see that there's a lot of, now after our performance at the Rugby World Cup, it's great to see that the interest from women now to play rugby has really gone up.
Even the local tournament planned has received a tremendous amount of interest.
We are waiting confirmation from Ra, from Bua, Naita Shiri, and Kandavu. Yes, because we just found out recently that Kandavu has about 3 or 5 women's rugby team there, so we're trying to get them into Suva.
Only 6 spots remain, and organizers are already anticipating some fierce competition.
Like Lotoka, for example, they're already sending a challenge to the Suva clubs that they're not just here to play rugby, they are here to prove to them that they also have the talent and they also have it to don the white jersey.
The sport's fast growing in Fiji as it is around the world, and with the amount of talent so far, Fijiana is sure to be a big brand name soon. Elena McDonald, FBC Sports.
More professional boxers are bound for fights abroad, says the Boxing Commission of Fiji, and one of these fights could see a local champion get a high ranking on the world scene. Shelvin Chand has more.
With local professional promotions almost on a standstill, established professional boxers are mostly Australia-bound. The commission has also managed to register Ghanaian Joseph Kwajo to fight under the Fiji banner.
The Opeti Tangi fight was postponed
because of an injury to Garner Jackson. If Opeti wins that fight, he'll be rated number 15 in the WBO. And likewise, we have sanctioned Joseph Kwadjo to go and fight next month in Australia.
There is also work being done to get local promoters involved, so more fights can be staged locally.
The promoters locally have now shown interest in coming. As I said, promoters are crucial in this thing, but we need to work together.
The Boxing Commission says boxing fans have to bear with them for a while.
I'd rather that it moves at a slow pace, because in moving slowly we patch up all the unnecessary gaps, and we move forward.
The Boxing Commission is working with promoters to set new guidelines, and in the process, new promoters have also been identified. Shalvin Chand, FBC Sports.
The national women's basketball team is gearing up for a tough challenge at the International Basketball Federation Oceania Championships in New Zealand next month. Still plagued with what's been a constant Achilles heel over the years, Captain Dale Wise promises to make up for the lack of height with spirit and guts. Tsalenda Dakadaka reports.
Teamwork requires individual players to be on the same mindset in order to acquire the desired result. This is one thing our national women's basketball team will need when they take on the region's best.
Yeah, well, one is our team chemistry. There's a lot we need to work on, but we're quite confident that we are slowly making inroads to having a successful outing at the FIBA Oceania tournament.
The captain of the side boasts 16 years of experience and will be the cornerstone for the young team.
This year we have a really young team. We have a lot of new players that have come into the game. They've really shown a lot of potential. This team lacks a lot of height, but we have a lot of spirit and a lot of guts that these young ones are showing.
The side is pooled with New Caledonia, Guam and Australia. A final 10-member squad will be named next Tuesday for the FIBA Oceania Champs on the 27th of November. Tsalendo Dakadaka, FBC Sports.
That was your sports for tonight. It's back to Jackie now with business.
Executives of German multinational diesel engines and parts supplier MAN Diesel and Turbo are carrying out a feasibility study on entering the Fijian market. Chanel Sivan caught up with them in Suva today.
MAN Diesel and Turbo is the world's leading provider of large-bore diesel engines for use in ships and power stations, and is also among 3 leading suppliers of turbo machinery worldwide. They are keen to develop a relationship with the Fiji National University by assisting and training students who work with diesel engines.
Our clear focus is in terms of local business. There's opportunities in power, such as the Kinoya Power Station we are tendering for. The port development we're interested, because we can see we've been there already this morning, and there is certainly activity increasing. And so for this we are prepared as part of our global strategy to invest.
The company designs 2-stroke and 4-stroke engines, generating sets, turbochargers, CP propellers and complete propulsion packages. They're currently operating in 193 countries, and there are plans to set up a center in Fiji.
Our investment is we start setting up an own workshop with our own experts, then recruiting local people. Then we look into the business opportunities that there are and what business partners we have. We like to collaborate with local companies. Our expertise is in the high-end qualification.
The MAN Group employs more than 52,000 people worldwide and records annual sale of more than $40 billion. Their next step is to meet up with government and explore options as to how they will set up business in Fiji. Chanel Shivan, FBC News.
Jackie, for some reason, I'm still thinking of that Pinktober story.
Maybe it's because we have such talented models here at FBC, Jen.
I believe so. And what about all that creativity? Just amazed at the effort put in by everyone. Turning my attention to the map, and it was a mixed bag today. As you can see, we've got both cloud and sun icons scattered across the map. Lambasa is the warmest today. The northerners are on 32 degrees, closely followed by Nandi, Lautoka and Ba on 31 degrees. And tomorrow's another mixed bag. It looks like Suva and Savasavu will get some showers in the afternoon and a bit of cloudiness in the morning. Lambasa and the west will get some sun in the morning and experience cloudiness later on. And that wraps up all things weather. Here's a photo taken by Andrew of the Moa Iwalu jetty. Looking into the Suva Harbour. You take care, and we'll catch up again on Monday.
Thanks so much for that, Genevieve. The headlines again: police third quarter parade called off due to low turnout of officers. 2 drowned in rough waters, prompting warnings from police and ACP Pacific trade officials to regroup and discuss EPA before meeting EU. To the poll question now, when we ask, should the selection of the Digicel Fiji Sevens team be totally controlled by Ben Ryan? Visit www.fbc.com.fj to take part. Remember to send us newsworthy pictures and videos. Email citizenseyes@fbc.com.fj. That's news for tonight, but be sure to join Amrita Pradashni from tomorrow for our weekend news. I'll see you again on Monday. Till then, have a safe and enjoyable weekend. Nimo Demanda.
आपकी शादी होने वाली है, 5 बच्चे होंगे। 5 हाय, मैं हूँ आपकी सहेली वेणु। सुनते रहिए मिर्ची FM। मैं हूँ ना 9 से 12 बजे तक।